Hey, Daryl here, and this is my daily devotional, another home edition. Yesterday we were talking about prayer and Hezekiah, his prayer, how he was seen as someone who did right in the eyes of the Lord. In 2 Kings chapter 18, when it references him as the king of Judah, it says, he did right in the eyes of the Lord, as his father David had done. And it went on and listed the things that he had done to destroy false worship of false gods in the land of Judah. And then he became ill. And Isaiah, the prophet, said he wouldn't recover from the illness. But he prayed. He fervently prayed that the Lord might give him more time on earth. In fact, his prayer went like this: O Lord, how have I walked before you faithfully and with whole heart devotion, and I have done what is good in your eyes. And then Isaiah received the word of the Lord that he would live another 15 years. His prayer was heard because he had remained in the Lord. He had done right what was in God's eyes. And in that relationship, he received his prayer request. I can't emphasize it enough. Prayer is not something that we can expect answered if we're only intermittent in our relationship with God. It is a remain in Him relationship, not like an intermittent windshield wiper that you just call on God when you need something. No, it's a daily relationship where your wipers are on high and you're keeping that relationship alive and fervent. Well, the king of Babylonia heard about his illness. So he sent an envoy of people to bring him some gifts. And because he was feeling better, God had granted him his prayer request, and he was well. He showed these envoys around Judah. In fact, it says in 2 Kings chapter 20, beginning at verse 13, Hezekiah received the messengers and showed them all that was in his storehouses, the silver, the gold, the spices, the fine oil, his armory, and everything found among his treasures. There was nothing in his palace or in all his kingdom that Hezekiah did not show them. Now, let's learn a lesson here, folks. You don't always have to show all your cards. Sometimes it is necessary to hold your cards close to your chest, because if you show all your cards, they become vulnerable to evil. And that's exactly what happened. We see them leave. And then Isaiah the prophet comes and says to Hezekiah, the time will surely come when everything in your palace and all that your fathers have stored up until this day will be carried off to Babylon. Nothing will be left, says the Lord. And some of your descendants, your own flesh and blood that will be born to you, will be taken away, and they will become eunuchs in the palace of the king of Babylon. Verse 19, the word of the Lord you have spoken is good, Hezekiah replied, for he thought, will there not be peace and security in my lifetime? And this is what happened. 15 years later, Hezekiah dies in the year 687 BC. It was approximately 80 years later when the Babylonians came and completely annihilated Jerusalem, destroyed the temple, and carried off, just as Isaiah the prophet had told Hezekiah, carried off all the gold, silver, spices, everything. And all the people were exiled to Babylon. Why? Well, he may have been a little braggadocious showing his cards, and they wanted those riches for themselves. And so God used this as a time of discipline for Judah. God bless you. Good day.